Did you invite Sinister? Oh, he is? Oh, okay. Well. Your net worth, you mean? Safety net.
Ninja. Ninjas. There we
Oh,
go. You can
okay.
all be my ninjas. There we go. All right. As Sinister Owl lags out of the qualifying session, here we are in Hungary for round 12 of the UDL F1 League. It's good to be back. My name is Mr. Damage, co-hosted by...
Jonathan, how's everybody doing?
I don't know how they're doing, but I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
I am doing great. It's good to have you back.
I'm happy to be back as well. I've missed a few races. Looks like we have the same list of drivers, though, which is nice. There's a few drivers.
Um, from what I've seen in qualifying or in practice, it was definitely Pecan, but I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past Sniper Pig to pull out a win here. He's been quick all season.
We still do have quite a few fast drivers in this lobby, even though it's not completely filled out. Sniper Pig and Drew Yu are on the track for their first outlap of this qualifying session.
Sniper Pig's been great all season. I definitely see him in contention for the win here.
Breezy's also out on his outlap. All of these guys opting to just go straight for the soft tires, no conserving for them. See if anybody tries an alternate strategy here today, as there's only 12 drivers, so only 2 people can really pick their strategy after qualifying. So maybe a couple of drivers might make the strategic decision to qualify on those medium tires.
Lucas and Killer Birdman are out now, as well as Duck.
Almost everybody is out on the track now as Sniper Pig starts his first flying lap, followed by Drew Yu right behind. Sniper Pig comes down the first DRS straight, going into turn 3. Long left-hander, and that curb on the inside is killer. Sweeps through the flat-out turn 4. There's a yellow flag in sector 3 already. He comes flying through turn 5, or turn 6, I think. I don't know. And around this long right-hander up towards the chicane. This is one of those technical tracks where if you make one little mistake, everything is over. They don't call it Monaco without the barriers for no reason.
Sniper Pig really on it early in the qualifying session, trying to put a good lap in.
You have Sniper Pig coming through the final sector now, through the penultimate corner. Got a little bit of traffic in front of him, but that shouldn't hurt him very much as he comes flying around this final corner. Let's see if he can put down a good lap time at the start of this qualifying session as he goes a 1:17.144. Put himself on provisional pole. Next one to cross the line would be Drew Yu. Drew Yu comes across the line and he goes a 1:19.4, so he must have made a mistake there. As we have Miami who has spun it somewhere on the lap.
That is Breezy. Breezy has spun it.
Well, Miami did too.
Oh, he
So
did?
we have 2 drivers. Yes, we have 2 drivers that have spun here on their first flying laps. Breezy pulls over to allow Lucas through in the McLaren. See if Lucas can put down a good lap
Man
time.
spins it as well in the Ferrari.
These drivers are really showing how hard this track is to get a fast lap down. As Lucas comes around the final corner now in his McLaren, let's see what he can do. He puts it into P2 with a 117.874, 7/10 off of Sniper Pig, but a good bit ahead of Drew you. As Duck puts himself up into P3, and Kill the Birdman comes across the line right behind him on those medium tires. He goes a 119.3. So you have Miami, he spun, so he'll be looking to go into the pit lane. Man is off the track once again. Pecan is coming through the middle sector now. He just came out of the middle chicane, going through these fast chicanes. Make sure he doesn't extend too far.
Real space here coming into the final corner to set his first lap.
Space comes around the final corner, and he goes up into P3. Going to jump back on board with Pecan here as Sinister starts his first flying lap. Pecan coming through the final sector now, coming up to the final corner. Let's see what kind of lap time he can put down, as Man has a lowly 2-minute lap time there. He's going to want to improve on that. As Pecan puts in a 116.7, putting himself onto provisional pole here. But the session just started. One lap doesn't mean very much in the grand scheme of things. A lot of these drivers are on their end laps now.
Pit.
A lot of drivers are on their end laps, so hopefully the drivers of Sinister Owl and Glen Coco don't get held up too much by these drivers on their end laps, as it looks like Sinister is catching up to the back of one of the Red Bulls. Looks to be Space, and Space has just completed a flying lap, so he's most likely on an end lap. But the dirty air off of his car will be hurting Sinister through that middle sector.
He let Sinister go by, so
hopefully Sinister didn't get too much dirty air effect through that middle sector as he comes through the penultimate corner. And it's worth mentioning, Sinister Owl is racing with a hurt foot this weekend. He was on the questionable list for racing today, and he puts himself up into P3 with a 117.5 as a Ferrari comes around the background of Man to go a 118.3, then immediately gets knocked off by Glen Coco, who also went a 118.3, but it was just that little bit faster to put himself up into P6. As now there's a few more drivers on their out laps. Breezy gets out of the way of Glen Coco. And Miami's coming up to the final sector now on his outlap. Let's see who else is on their outlap. Sniper Pig is coming around the final corner now to start his second flying lap of the session. Let's see if he can improve on that 117.1 and make Pecan work just a little bit more for that pole position.
Man struggling to keep that Ferrari in check.
As we all know from the Ferrari of late, they don't have much downforce, but they have a lot of power, so you might be struggling with that Ferrari package. You definitely won't be used to it, jumping into that Ferrari.
So let's wish him the best for today's race. Hopefully he can figure it out.
See, we have Sniper Pig coming through the middle sector now, coming up towards the final sector split marker. He's going through that second fast chicane, going to bring it out wide onto the curbs. He's 6/10 up on his last lap time, so he's really looking to get this pole position away from Pecan out front. See, he comes around the penultimate corner. There's yellow flags here, there, and everywhere, but Sniper Pig doesn't have to worry about those. He comes around the final corner now. Let's see if he can beat that 116.7 set by Pecan, and he does. He goes a 116.4, putting himself onto provisional pole for the time being. So we have Miami coming to the final sector now. Let's see if he is improving on his lap. It doesn't look like it. He's already at 1 minute 20 on this lap. So he might have gotten held up a little bit by some traffic as he's starting another flying lap here. Miami needs to get a good competitive lap on the board here. There's a good little train of cars here between Lucas, Real Space Hero, and Miami.
Breezy looking to set a good lap.
Goes just a little wide in that corner. Not sure if that would invalidate him or not as he comes into the final sector now. Coming up to that long left-hander. One of the toughest corners to go around fast on this track. So long. You have to wait so long to get on the power. The same with the final corner. One of the hardest final corners on the calendar. Comes around there, opens up his DRS. Let's see what he can do. He goes a 116.5. Puts himself up in a P2 and on the front row provisionally. As we see Duck come around the final corner, but does not improve on his lap on those medium tires.
Miami is the only person to not set a valid lap as of right now.
Looks definitely like he's really going to be looking to.
Yeah, definitely wants to get one. We're coming down to the wire on time here. Only 8 minutes left in the session.
This little group of cars here, the only one that's really... And Lucas pulls into the pits from out in front of Miami, so Miami will be very frustrated with that. He sat in that dirty air for almost the entire lap. Miami goes up into P7 with his first flying lap of the session, and Space does not improve on his next flying lap, so he looks out of it and coasts through the first corner. So far, Sniper Pig on that pedestal right now with a 116.4. Breezy right behind him with a 116.5, and Pecan right behind him a 116.7.
Top three very close.
Looks like the only two drivers that might be on a flying lap. Let's see if Miami's on a flying lap or if he's just coasting around. He might just be coasting. It's what it looks like.
Sniper Pig looking to be setting another flying lap coming into the final corner.
See what Sniper Pig can do. He comes around the final corner now. I thought he'd be on an in lap, but it looks like he's going to stay out. Let's see what he can do, and he does not improve. He goes a 116.6, so he'll stay with that 116.4 as his best lap time. If Sinister just started his flying lap, he just finished the first sector 2/10 up. So let's see what he can do. See if maybe he can put together a better lap time to put himself up onto that front row.
Should be noted that Duck is still the only person on the mediums.
It looks like Sinister may have backed out of it here. I'm not quite sure. Yes, he did. He's two seconds off. So
oh, and like Man spins in the final corner and runs straight into the wall.
Or Man's having a ton of issues here. He's been playing a lot of Project Cars 2, getting ready for that WEC season. And clearly that's put him off of what he needs to be doing in this F1 car this race weekend.
I know I tried to do some laps earlier in practice after being on Project Cars, and this game feels so different. You really need to put in the time on here before coming into a race.
Pecan just finishes out the first sector half a tenth up on his best time, so he's going to want to improve on that a good bit as he goes wide at the middle chicane. He's not going to enjoy that very much. That's definitely going to cost him a few tenths. He's really going to have to put in a great final sector to be able to put himself onto that pole position here. Yep, he lost 6.5 tenths in that middle sector. So he's not going to be happy with that. He's going to be gearing up for yet another run at this pole position.
Dips into the pits.
So Pecan will be looking to get a new set of tires on that car and try to come out in time for another lap. We have more yellow flags. Looks like it's Duck going slowly on the track that's causing the yellow flags. See what Man can do is he pulls into the pit lane after spinning on the final lap from his last flying lap. Glen Coco finishes another lap, but it was invalidated, so he will not be shooting up the charts. They have a few more drivers on their outlaps now, including Sinister Owl, Lucas, and Miami. Not quite sure how many other drivers are really on a flying lap right now. It doesn't look like Gun Coco is as he's weaving back and forth. But he might be. No, he's not. He's way off the pace. And Duck pulls over to let by the Toro Rosso of Kill the Birdman, who is coming through the penultimate corner now up to the final corner, seeing if he can improve on his time. He does take the final corner. Let's see what his lap time is. So he comes shooting around there, opens up his DRS. Let's see if he can put himself up into the positions, and he does. Puts himself up into P7 with a 117.9. So a good clutch lap from him puts himself up in the mid-pack in this field.
I will say, with such small driver numbers, it could possibly be beneficial for some of these drivers to stay out of the top 10 so they can choose their own tire strategy.
And if you look at the tire choices here, this is huge for the race. If the graphics are correct, Breezy put in his best lap time on the medium compound tires as Sinister comes through to finish the first sector, 3.5 tenths up. So he's going to be looking to put himself onto this front row this time. Let's see if he doesn't invalidate himself through the chicane. He doesn't look like he does.
Kill the Birdman were DQ'd from this qualifying session.
That is not going to be beneficial to Kill the Birdman at all. Sinister backs out of it once again. So Sinister not having a good qualifying session here after his first lap. Having some severe issues here. Let's see if there's any drivers coming around the final corner. Yes, there is. Miami coming around the final corner now. But it looks like his lap was slow, so he'll be looking to set one more flying lap, maybe two in this session. But Coco is the 10.5 up going into the third sector, but runs very wide. So I'm not sure if this lap will count or not. That was severely wide, and it looks like he might have backed out of it. And yes, he has. He's going into the pit lane.
Real Space Hero coming into the final corner, or penultimate corner. Sorry about that.
So here comes Space around the final corner. Let's see if he can improve on his time and put himself up there with his Red Bull teammate. Opens up that DRS flap and comes across the line and puts himself up into P4 with a 117.3. These top three have really broken away as it comes to pace. Breezy has fitted the soft tires for his final qualifying run, so he might just be looking for that pole position now that he knows he is so close to Sniper Pig after being on those slower tires. Sniper Pig and Breezy are nose to tail here, as well as the two Ferraris. So Sniper Pig's going to want to get in front of Breezy so that he can have that clear air, or just back off behind him. They'll have to worry about Pecan, and there they both are. They're both backing out of it and letting the Ferraris go. As Pecan in Sinister puts in a 116.7 and puts himself up into P3. Pecan coming around the penultimate corner now, going into the final one with only 35 seconds left on the clock, so he can still put in another flying lap. Comes around the final corner, opens up his DRS, and he will go into P2 with a 116.46, 100th of a second behind Sniper Pig, who is now on his outlap, and he's going into the pits. But Breezy was held up by Sniper Pig. Breezy was trying to go down the inside of Sniper Pig through the final corner. Or no, that was the Red Bull of Space. Space held up Breezy quite a bit there in that final corner, so hopefully that's not going to hurt him too much, as the qualifying session is now ended. The checkered flag is out. So these drivers have to put in whatever lap time they can now. Sinister Owl is backed out of his, so he won't be putting in another competitive time. It looks like Miami is backed out of his lap. No, he hasn't. He's coming around the final corner now. Let's see if he can improve on his time.
Oh, and Breezy spins it.
Breezy spins on that infamous curbing, and he retires straight away, which is very frowned upon in this league, so he might be getting some sort of a slap on the wrist or a penalty for that. Pecan is coming to go into the pit lane now, and so that means that Sniper Pig Without a miracle from Drew Hughes, Sniper Pig will be on pole position here for this Hungarian Grand Prix, but he's going to come around that final corner and try to put the nail in the coffin. See if he can improve on his time. He will not. Oh, yes, he will. A 116.3. He improves by a tenth and a half. Wow, my graphics were wrong. So there's Sniper Pig up to pole position with a 116.3, a tenth and a half up on Pecan and P2 with a 116.4. Breezy and now Williams rounds out the podium. Is there a podium for qualifying? I don't know, but there will be now. Sniper Pig is on pole position here for the Hungarian GP. That was a very close qualifying session in the top 4, but there was a huge gap between 4th place and 5th, so hopefully
I agree, and I was correct on saying that Sniper Pig and Pecan would be setting in the top 2 positions, so
it looks like all the drivers have set their fastest lap on the soft compound tires, but the 2 drivers that will have a free choice will be Duck and Drew Yu in P11 and 12. Let's see if they can make their strategy a little better than everybody else's to get themselves up into those podium positions later on in this race.
Alright, so we will have a short intermission while the lobby is recreated, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So that'll take maybe 10 minutes at most, but
pardon this interruption, but Burger King now has tacos.
I did not know this.
According to this commercial.
This is no sponsor from Burger King, we are just mentioning it.
Yeah. Burger King, if you are watching this, please sponsor me. My business email is iwantagofast@gmail.com. And also, breaking news, the Saints are beating the Bears 36-10. As the best team in the league beats up on the Bears.
Is there any... Are we pulling Sniper Pig in here, or...?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's see. Who would want to do a live interview here? What do we got? Let's see. Do you think Sinister would want to do a live interview?
Sounds good to me.
Alright, I'm going to invite old boy in here for a nice little interview. He's going to get this invite and be like very confused, but he'll figure it out. And he seems to be appearing offline, which is great for me. Now I have to scroll all the way down here to the S's. Where's he at? Where is he at? There he is. He's been appearing offline for a month. Jeez. Alright.
While we wait for him, what do you feel about the results of this race after qualifying?
I feel like the top 4 might just be a breakaway, but I'm not quite sure who's going to win out of that top 4. All 4 of those drivers are very capable.
I agree.
We know how fast Sinister is around Monaco, so if he can channel his inner Monaco into this race, he'll have a good chance of winning.
If I had to make a prediction, I'm gonna stick with my qualifying predictions and say top 2 is gonna be Sinister, or not Sinister, Sniper Pig and Pecan. Not sure which way that's gonna go, but
I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that Breezy will be the victor in this Hungarian GP, with Pecan in P2 and Sniper Pig in P3.
Alright.
That is my bold prediction. Sponsored by nobody, because we don't have any sponsors. If you would like to sponsor the UDL F1 League,
or any,
leave a like and subscribe, and then...
any league in the UDL for that matter.
and we have announced that UDL will also have a WEC World Endurance Championship League on Project Cars 2. If any of you watching this live stream would like to get in on that, message one of us on either PlayStation or comment on this video, and we'll make sure you can get in. We have 12 seats filled. We have 4 left to be filled. We're filling out the cars here soon. Who wants to be in what? We're planning on having 6 drivers in the P1s, 4 in P2s, and 6 in the GTL or the GTD category.
GTE.
GTE, yeah, GTE. Sorry, I'm an IMSA person. I just
Alright.
cussed at everybody. Get into spectator mode. You're not even in here, are you?
I forgot. I have notifications off. I did not see the invite. Sorry about that.
Looks like we're not going to be getting Sinister Owl here, so that's going to be a shame. So I'll do the interview for him. So I'll be Sinister. You can interview me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sinister, how did the qualifying go?
It went pretty well. I mean, I ended up P4, so it wasn't the greatest result, but driving injured is never the best thing, so I'm just happy to be within a few tenths of Sniper Pig in P1.
Speaking of that, how is the injury?
It's pretty bad. I stubbed my toe trying to kick a football, and it definitely hurt just a little bit.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to be the punter for my high school team, but I don't know. I might need to fill in an acting role instead.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on that. How do you feel your result in the race is gonna go?
I'm winning this damn race. There's no if, and, or but. If there's people in front of me, I'm gonna knock them out of my way, and I'm gonna win this puppy.
Okay, well, I highly advise against that, but good luck.
Woo! NASCAR!
Sorry about that, Sinister. We love you.
Don't stub your toe on a football again. Please and thank you, because I don't want to have to make fun of you for that. I feel obliged to make fun of somebody for every stream, so it has to be Sinister this week because of the stub toe. Oh man. See, this would be great for like an ad roll or something, but I can't do that because we don't have any sponsors. So if you'd like to have an ad roll in between these 2 races, contact me or Jonathan or Pecan.
We actually do have a business email for the UDL League, so.
Yeah, our business email is, let me find it and actually read it because I don't remember it. UDL League F1F2 at gmail.com. I repeat, UDL League F1F2 at gmail.com.
So this might be random, but I did just watch somebody run on the endless staircase in Super Mario 64 for 24 hours. I don't know why that needed to be said, but I felt obliged to say it.
That is an accomplishment, so
yes,
I mean, I think everybody in the chat would respect this. Respect this quote. And the milestone that someone has reached. I don't know who reached it, but they will be immortal.
Yeah, I would have to say so. That's a really impressive feat.
Oh, this is funny. So the Saints-Bears game, the Bears just scored a touchdown, and they were like talking trash to the Saints. So then all the players on the Saints that were around just pointed at the scoreboards. Oh, that was funny.
It is.
Oh man.
I'm sorry for everybody watching. The fact that we're just trying to find some entertainment while the race is being set up, but
Oh, here's a sponsor for Sinister. Sorry, Sinister. If you're lonely, go to farmersonly.com and all your dreams will be fulfilled.
I say we stop, but uh, this is all in good fun. Don't worry, guys. We Sinister's a
We're
great
all
guy,
good
but
friends.
yeah.
Yeah, we're all good friends. We just like having a little bit of fun here and there. We all make fun of each other, so hey. As long as we're like a big, fat, happy family. What's the show on Comedy Central? My Big Fat Redneck Wedding or something?
I never heard that in my life, but it sounds
I
great.
scroll by it like every time I'm at work, trying to find some sort of something to watch other than terribleness.
Fair enough.
So there's an onside kick. There's a flag on the play.
Well, the race should be getting on our way soon.
Jonathan, going to spectator. Sorry, I still have a cold.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. You'd just be pulling a pecan.
This is true, but I'm not gonna do that.
That kick wasn't even far enough for it to be returned, or for it to be recepted by the Bears, but for some reason it stood. I'm pissed. It's okay. 36-18. 2.5 minutes left. I might do a play-by-play of this game instead. Tell John to press spectator. I got you, pecan. Look, you don't have to babysit me. I'll babysit him. You don't have to babysit us. Oh, if you guys didn't know, we're having the Hungarian GP on Sunday. Just to make sure none of you forget. If you have Alzheimer's. Oh, man. Hopefully Pecan's still in here and heard that. That'd be hilarious.
So, yeah.
Looks like I have another spectator in Ducati.
Can I just say the fact that Pecan posted that in your stream and not mine?
Yeah. It's because my stream's more popular. You can join this by either adding myself or Jonathan or Pecan on PlayStation, or leaving your PSN in this chat and we'll add you, or joining our Discord server. I'll link that right now. Invite. Copy. I'll go ahead and drop this link in chat for our Discord server. Join that server if you'd like to be in any of our leagues here in the UDL. And like I said before, we are starting a WEC league on Project Cars 2 very soon. As the race is finally starting. One nap later, here we go.
All
The
right.
Hungarian Grand Prix.
Get
Okay.
one more person in for the race, that being Stig. So,
Yep. Stiggins joined after qualifying for the race. What were the penalties for this race? I have no clue.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there is any actually.
Well, they had to restart the lobby, so.
That was due to strict qualifying, strict corner cutting in qualifying.
Yeah, but somebody has to have a penalty. I mean, come on.
I actually don't think there is a penalty.
No penalties isn't fun. Maybe Sinister will hold up to his word and take out the field so that we can have a penalty for next week. The fake Sinister, Sinister 2.0. Sinister usually listens to these, so he's either laughing or pissed off, one of the two right now.
Yeah,
Hopefully both. That'd be pretty funny. As the drivers are getting into the lobby, putting on their setups and getting ready to rumble here. This 50% race here at Magyar Nagadic here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We are your commentators, Mr. Damage and Jonathan, getting ready for this race.
I am excited and I'm ready for some racing.
I wish I had grabbed a monster, as here we go for the formation lap. We'll see what tire, make sure everybody's on the correct tires here, as it looks like Miami is put on the mediums. And Man, Duck, Drew, and Stig are all in the mediums. We also have Masashiro in the lobby as well.
That could be.
That could be a penalty for Miami and Man. Could be a very major penalty. We very much frown upon starting on the wrong tires in this league. As all the drivers come through to finish the first sector now. Come through the chicane for the first time. As Sinister cuts the chicane in the formation lap.
Bouncing heavily off that curb.
He was just making sure his suspension was working properly, that's all.
Hopefully it doesn't come to bite him later on. With an impact like that, it could have loosened up a component or two.
They're all coming towards the penultimate corner now. What a great camera angle. Such a nice wide shot to watch all these cars come through this corner. As all the drivers are filtering through here now, getting ready to grid up for this Hungarian Grand Prix. It's all doing their burnouts on the exit of the final corner, going up towards the grid. Trying to find a decent camera angle here.
I don't think there is one.
See, we have the lights are coming on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5, and the lights are out, and away we go for this Hungarian Grand Prix. Sniper Pig gets off to a pretty good start here, but Pecan has a better start as he's already looking up the inside as we're 2 by 2 going into the first corner. Sniper Pig's trying to hold on to it around the outside. It looks like he might. Sinister Owl jumps up into P3, but he has Breezy on his outside coming into turn 3 here. So we have a little bit of contact in the back, a couple of changing positions. Sniper Pig holds onto that P1, Pecan, and P2 and Sinister gets in front of Breezy to take that P3 spot. So we're all filtered out one by one here. Looks like we've had an incident in turn 1. There's a few drivers lagging behind. They all come through the chicane for the first time. Doesn't look like there's any issues. Breezy is right on the rear diffuser of Sinister Owl here, coming through the middle sector. Let's see if he'll be close enough to try to make a move here going to this next corner. Sinister goes a little defensive. Breezy kind of looks towards the inside, but he doesn't quite have the room to go. But he's going around the outside of this long left-hander. That's a hard overtake to do.
Slight contact on the outside, but looks like he's going to get it.
Sinister tries to hold it around the outside, but Breezy, with an excellent overtaking maneuver there, will take back that P3, but Sinister Owl won't be having that as he comes flying back up the inside, up into turn 1 and takes P3 back. But while these guys squabble around, there's a little bit of contact there between Breezy and Sinister. Breezy hit the right rear of Sinister, and that allows space to get up into P4. Great racing up here for this final podium position here in the starting laps of this race.
That being said, Sniper Pig and Pecan are going back and forth right now.
They're playing a nice game of chess up there in the front of the field. So it looks like they will be single file through the chicane. That's not a very good overtaking zone. As we have another yellow flag, it looks like Man has spun it in the second sector. That's not good for his races here, or Ferrari. Ferrari are looking to get a good haul of points here to be able to get themselves on top of those constructors' standings. Coming around to finish the second lap, Sniper Pig is in P1, Pecan in P2, Sniper Pig. Sinister Owl has pulled a little bit of gap on Space Hero in P4 and Breezy in P5. Those two leaders, while still running nose to tail, have really pulled a nice little gap on Sinister. They have a second lead over Sinister Owl, and they're going to want to work together here and stay single file for now, try to pull away and then battle later. As I say that, though, Pecan looks desperate to get into that P1 position and control the pace of this race. But as these two play chess with each other, Sinister will be reeling them in. Sinister is already 8.5 tenths back, so he's pulled just a little bit of that gap on these two drivers.
Great racing up at the front here.
This is definitely going to be a nice little chess game. This is one of those tracks that is very hard to overtake without the help of DRS. It's Pecan really drives into that corner there.
10th through 6th are all very close right now.
Looks like there was a yellow flag there in Sector 3.
Ooh, and
Birdman went off track just a little bit.
Yeah, Stig went off track as well.
So did Glen Coco and the Haas in the penultimate corner. So Lucas will be promoted up into P6. So Space with a great start there from P5 on the grid, goes up into P4, and then Sinister with a good start as well, up into P3. Breezy with a horrific start, already down to P5 here at the start of this race. My pick to win. Looks like I've commentator cursed him already. These front three drivers are really pulling away now. It's going to be hard for the rest of this field to get a podium position if they keep pulling away at the rate they are. As Breezy makes the overtake on Space, who looks like he ran just a little bit wide at the beginning of that second sector. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2 as Masashiro has spun it on the infamous curb. So that's going to put a huge damper on his race, and he keeps spinning. He's in that grass, and it's hard to get back going again. He finally gets that car back straight. You jump back over to the battle for the lead. These guys are all within around a second of each other. Some great racing up at the point of this field. All as Sinister and Pecan both have DRS, but it looks like Pecan's just going to stay back behind Sniper Pig, save a little bit of fuel and a little bit of ERS, go for that move later on in this race. Just got to be careful because Sinister's right behind Pecan here, so you could easily have some sort of a battle here, and then Sniper Pig could be off in the distance. They have some overtakes in the midfield here. We're 2 by 2 here in the midfield coming out of turn 3. As Duck is up in a P7, Stig and Glen Coco side by side to this fast left-hander. That's not something that works out very well at all. And Drew Yu gets on the curb and almost loses it. Does a great job saving it from hitting the wall. A little bit of a lockup from Glen Coco going through the chicane. You jump back up to this lead battle here. Pecan, 3/10 behind Sniper Pig here. Looks like Sniper Pig's a lot faster through that corner, though. He pulls 2/10 on him. Pecan just overdriving just a little bit too much through that corner in the dirty air. Pecan once again has DRS as well as Sinister Owl right behind them. Sinister is in a great position here. If Sniper Pig and Pecan start battling for the lead, Sinister could jump right out and take that lead from both of these guys.
Pecan is not letting Sniper get any sort of lead.
Sniper Pig goes a little bit wide on the entry of that corner, and Pecan just gets that little bit closer to his rear wing.
Get that money and run and joins, but does not have a car.
He joins, but he joins too late. As these top three drivers are coming towards the middle chicane once again. Such a tough chicane to navigate. If you mount those curbs too hard, you're going to go straight, but if you don't mount them enough, it's not going to end up very well for you.
Masashiro being lapped right now.
Sorry for the bad stream quality for some reason. Not quite sure what's going on in my house right now, but it looks like my internet is getting sucked out.
My stream quality is pretty great, so
hopefully that resolves itself here soon. As Sinister Owl peels into the pit lane. So it looks like he might be on a two-stop strategy here. So Sinister and Breezy both pull into the pit lane. So these guys starting on the softs might be going for the two-stop here today.
Pecan.
Sinister goes into the medium tires.
Pecan starting to look like he might be getting ready to make a move here.
But as you say that, Pecan loses a few tenths in the second corner because he touches that curb. That curb is deadly. You never want to touch it.
Still right on him though.
This battle for the lead looks like it'll be going throughout the entire race. These guys are really going to have to push here because Sinister's going to get that undercut on both of them. Not quite sure how old their tires are, but Pecan looks like he's getting very impatient behind Sniper Pig here. Looks like Pecan saved his tires just a little bit, but Sniper Pig got a better exit than Pecan there. And in this corner is where Sniper Pig can pull just a little bit more out of Pecan, but Pecan hit that corner pretty well this time around. So they're right there nose to tail as Pecan pulls into the pit lane and Sniper Pig continues for yet another lap. So Sniper Pig is going to be looking for the long game here. He might try to stretch this stint out and do a one-stop. There's not very many drivers behind going to the pit lane. Glen Coco's forced off of the track just a little bit as he goes into the pit lane. You got side by side through the final corner between Drew Yu and Miami. Miami takes that P6 away from Drew Yu as Pecan comes out of the pit lane now, and he is behind Drew Yu and Miami, but very importantly in front of Sinister. So Sinister had a poor outlap there. Sinister lost a good bit of time. Let's see if Pecan can clear these cars fast. Duck. And Massa is spun as well. He is spun it in the middle sector. And there's a safety car. Safety car out now. So Sniper Pig, by staying out, has had a master stroke of a strategy as well as Space. But Space has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. And this is a huge disappointment for Pecan, Sinister, and Breezy, who just pitted for brand new medium compound tires. Sniper Pig and Space are going to have a free pit stop here.
Sniper Pig, he's got to be so happy right now with this situation.
He knows that he has plenty of time to get into that pit lane. The closest driver to him that hasn't pit yet that has pit is Pecan, and as Drew Yu goes off track there, they let Pecan through. Not quite sure why. As Drew Yu goes into the pit lane. As well
Sniper
as
Pig coming out on the hards.
So Sniper Pig doesn't believe those medium tires can last to the end of the race, and he puts on the hards as well as Space and Lucas. So they're definitely going for that one-stop strategy. Not quite sure how these medium runners that just got onto those, I'm not quite sure how good those tires will last. This looks like it's going to be a great strategy race here. As Miami stays out on those medium compound tires, it looks like he's going for that one stop. So he'll be separating Sniper Pig and Pecan here at the restart. Sinister Owl is in P4 with Breezy right behind him, and Space in P6 with those fresh hard tires, as well as Lucas in P7, Stig in P8, Glenn in P9. A lot of these drivers have went on to fresh hards except for Drew Yu, who put on some fresh softs. Interesting strategy there from Drew Yu.
Sniper Pig in the perfect position right now.
Yeah, there's no way Sniper Pig is not going to be happy with how this is going. And it looks like these Red Bull drivers know something that the rest of these drivers don't, that went in and pitted for these mediums. The medium tires might not last for the rest of this Grand Prix.
They have a lot of laps left. There's 21 laps remaining in this Grand Prix.
So the medium runners of Pecan, Sinister, and Breezy are going to be looking to really stretch out that stint. Either that or put in some seriously quick lap times, build up a pit stop buffer on Sniper Pig, but that's going to be hard to do. As the safety car goes around for yet another lap. Right now, the fastest lap holder is Sniper Pig with a 1:21.0. Pecan right behind him with a 1:21.1, and Sinister with a 1:21.0 as well. That fastest lap is going to keep crawling down and down. And those fastest laps mean a lot here in this F1 league because of that extra point.
An extra point does not seem like a lot until the end of the season when you're separated by only 1 point. So
exactly. Oh man, this is going to be a great strategy race here. Miami's still staying out on those medium compound tires. So he's definitely going for that one stop. He looks like he's going to be going from medium soft or medium hard here. Not quite sure. He's going to be a good estimate on how long these medium tires can last.
It'll be interesting to see that, because that'll be the real question of whether Pecan and Sinister have the right strategy here.
That's definitely for certain, as the safety car should be coming in this lap. Oh man, yep, safety car is coming in this lap, so we're going to be gearing up for a restart here on lap 10 of this 35 lap GP.
I'm ready to go racing again.
And there's been a penalty.
Severe collision.
Masashiro collides with Lucas and gets a 5-second time penalty for severe collision.
That is not good for Masashiro because he was the cause of the safety car.
As Sniper Pig has a little bit of oversteer getting on the throttle coming out of the final corner, and Miami will be looking towards the inside going into turn 1, and Miami will be going into P1 on this restart, and Pecan will be looking up the inside as well. Sniper Pig, he might even be able to get P2 away. Sniper Pig with a terrible restart here goes all the way down into P3. So what was a dream situation for him has turned awful.
Oh my god. The drama on that restart.
It looks like Sniper Pig's lagging quite a bit too. The lobby seems to be lagging a little. which is not good for this race.
Glad that's not just on my end.
As Pecan looks up the inside of Miami going into this chicane, but wisely backs out of it as they all go single file. Miami is on the point, and Masashiro gets another 5-second time penalty for ignoring blue flags. So his race is going from bad to worse here. It's Pecan just going to be trying to get past Miami as soon as possible. Be able to pull a bit of a lead on Sniper Pig here. He's going to want to get a big lead on Sniper Pig if he wants to be able to get back out and stay in front of Sniper Pig. As Miami's really defending this P1 hard. If Miami's going for this one stop, this is for position. So Miami staying in front as much as possible is going to be really big for his race. As Pecan pulls on to the inside going into turn 1. Let's see if he can make this move stick, and it looks like he will. So Miami will be demoted into P2. Sniper Pig makes contact with Miami on the exit of the corner and loses even more positions. He's now in P5. His race is unraveling very fast.
I'm not sure whether it's the hards that he's on now or what, but he's just not as consistent as he was in the first stint.
Sinister and Breezy are really going to want to get past Miami here if they're going to have any chance of keeping up with Pecan. Miami, by what I've seen, is going to really be defending this hard as Breezy makes a mistake coming out of the chicane. Goes a little bit wide onto the grass, and Sniper Pig jumps up into P4. And Space up into P5, and Breezy drops all the way back into P6.
Sniper Pig looking to get those positions back quickly. He can't afford to lose the time.
These drivers all stuck behind Miami can't afford to stay behind him very long because Pecan is just pulling away. He already has almost a 2-second gap on everybody as he puts in the fastest lap of the race. And Sinister makes a very aggressive move down the inside going into turn 1. Let's see if he can make this move stick. He goes up the inside. Miami leaves him just enough room. They're still side by side on corner exit, and Sinister gets the move done going up into turn 3. Sinister, a great move down the inside into turn 1.
That is the only comment I have for that move. I respect it.
That was a great move by Sinister. He had very little room on the inside. Miami left him as little much as possible. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1.
Sniper Pig right on Miami's tail right now. Followed very closely by Breezy.
Miami has started the truly train here. And it looks like Man is spun once again coming out of the chicane. It's going to be terrible for Ferrari. Ferrari will not be happy with that, that's for sure. Sinister is going to be looking to reel in Pecan. Miami still holding up the rest of the field here. Really backing up Sniper Pig and Breezy. But they are pulling away from Lucas.
This reminds me a lot of the F2 sprint race at Monaco. The only reason I won that race was due to somebody just having good defensive driving.
As it looks like Sniper Pig will be looking to go around the outside, but he makes a mistake. And so Breezy looks like he will be taking the position away, and yes, he will. So Sniper Pig falls down to P5 after trying to go for P3 for Miami. And now it's Breezy's turn. And Breezy goes around the outside of Miami after Miami goes just a little bit wide, and now Sniper Pig looks to be going up the inside through the chicane. He shoves Miami through the chicane, and Miami looks like he'll be holding on to this position because he got shoved off the track. So Sniper Pig looks like Sniper Pig seems to be getting really impatient here. Stuck behind Miami. All the other drivers he's racing with have gotten by him, but Sniper Pig's still stuck behind him. I'm really interested to see how long Miami can stay out on those medium compound tires. If he can go around 20 to 25 laps on those tires, I'll be confident in the medium runners. but I'm not quite sure if he can or not. The safety car period did help him quite a bit. As Masashiro retires from the session. Let's see if we'll get another safety car from this. It doesn't look like it. So we'll continue racing here on lap 15 to this Hungarian Grand Prix.
I'm looking at this from a racer's perspective, and it's very difficult to see why Sniper Pig hasn't tried to make a move yet.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be getting a move on here because all of his competition is just flying away from him now. Sniper Pig might not even have a chance at a podium if he takes too long behind Miami here. But Sniper Pig might be banking on those medium runners not being able to drive to the finish.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if his tires just... The grip differential between Miami's 14-lap-old mediums and his 6-lap-old hards, I'm wondering if he doesn't have the grip to actually make the move.
Yeah, we all know those hard tires can really be a pain. Especially, plus, he is in Miami's dirty air. We know how bad dirty air is in F1 as Miami goes defensive to the inside. Sniper Pig will be looking to pull out to the outside, going into turn 1. He does. He'll be trying to go all the way around the outside. Miami's still out front, but Sniper Pig takes the position away from Miami around the outside of turn 1. A great move, but it might have been just a little too late. As Stig and Lucas are side-by-side through turn 2, and they're still side-by-side through turn 3, but Stig makes the move stick, and he puts himself up in a P6. Sniper Pig has lost a ton of time there. He's 2.5 seconds behind Breezy, and a total of 6 seconds behind Pecan. He's really not going to be happy with that, and he's losing time quick.
Again, it's he's really banking on those mediums not lasting until the end.
Yeah, the Red Bull strategy call was to go on those hard tires, and we see how it's going for Space. Space is all the way down in P10. So that just shows you how bad those hard tires are for these drivers right now.
My question is, if those mediums do not last until the end, those drivers are probably going to go onto the softs, and will he have a big enough lead to hold that win?
I'm not quite sure. Pecan's going to have to pull a considerable gap on Sniper Pig if he's going to want to win this race, if he does stop again, which Pecan does have 1 lap fresher tires than the other medium runners. So that could be a huge benefit to him. But I'm really curious on how bad these tires are getting used up here.
And how much are they going to fall off?
Laps. Sniper Pig might be in a good position here once those mediums fall off, because we know those hards will last the entire GP. Miami has went 16 laps already on his medium compound tires, and Man puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 120.7, stealing that point away from his teammate.
I'm glad to see Man starting to get the... Oh, and as I say that, commentator's curse, he puts it in the wall.
Man definitely has the pace. He just needs to work on his consistency as he now has front wing damage and will be pushing like a tractor for the rest of this lap until he can get back in and get that changed.
It is a very fast tractor, though.
Yes, it is a very fast tractor as Drew Yu comes into the pit lane after his soft tire stint. So he'll be looking to go back on either the mediums or the hard compound tires. Miami also peels off into the pit lane after only 17 laps. And he goes onto the hard compound tires. So if that tells me anything, that tells me that these medium compound runners in the top 3 are going to have to start driving really hard, or else they're not even going to have a chance for a podium.
I can only imagine what's going through their minds right now after seeing that.
They know that Miami was their estimate on how long they could go on these tires. Now they're only around 7 laps away from having to pit themselves. They might be able to stretch these tires for the rest of the race, but I don't know. It'll be tough. Have
Very.
17 more laps to go, so they'd have to make these tires last 27 to 28 laps. It's a lot of time on one set of medium compound tires. As Breezy sets the fastest lap of the race as he's trying to claw into that lead with a 1 something. I completely missed it. As he is trying to catch up to Sinister Owl in front of him, get that P2 away, maybe call himself up into P1. Because I believe he's starting to realize that he needs to go. He needs to pull out this lead on the rest of these drivers. As Pecan, the pit stop buffer of around 26 seconds would put Pecan all the way down into P8 or P9 in this GP. This space is 22 seconds off of Pecan. So as long as these drivers stay within 25 seconds of Pecan.
And with that, with Miami lasting 17 laps, that means for sure these hards are definitely going to last the rest of this race. So they really need to gain that gap.
Yeah, these medium compound drivers definitely need to start putting the pedal to the metal. Pecan has pulled a 7-second gap on Sniper Pig, but he's not pulling away enough. He's going to need a Schumacher-esque drive here, as Breezy is right on the back of Sinister, as there's some lobby lag there, and Breezy flies past Sinister going to turn 1.
Now, the thing that Sniper Pig needs to be concerned about is, even, say, Pecan pulls out a 10-second gap before their pit stop, will he be able to hold off that 10 seconds after their pit when they're on the softs?
This may turn into a 2019 F1 GP replay.
Oh, and Breezy
goes into the wall. Breezy spins it. And Breezy rejoins onto the track, and he is now down into P4 with front wing damage. That's going to be huge for his race. He's going to have to come in and pit, or else he's going to lose a ton of time. So he might be going in and pitting for another set of softs or mediums. They would last for the rest of this GP.
Sniper Pig now back into a podium position and gaining time at that.
Yeah, these medium tire runners are starting to. Their tires are starting to show a lot of wear here. They're really struggling to get around as Sniper Pig is eating into that gap in front of him up to Sinister. So Sinister and Pecan better start pushing hard, or they might want to pit soon. One of the two. As Breezy goes into the pit lane, a huge disappointment for him. But this might end up helping him in the strategy.
The problem for Pecan and Sinister is they don't really have an option to pit soon, because if they do, they have to go on the hards to last the rest of this race.
Not exactly. I mean, a 14-lap stint on the medium compound tires is not a very hard to ask.
That's true, yeah.
They've already went 13 to 14 laps on them now, so they could split it and do 2 14-lap stints here, and that would be perfect for their tires. And that might be the strategy they're going for. I'm not quite sure. I could very well be it. Soft, medium, medium for the rest of this GP. But these one-stoppers, all these drivers doing the one-stop on the hards right now are going to have a huge advantage on the rest of these drivers that are doing the two-stop.
Yes.
As of now, Pecan and Sinister would come out in around P8 to P9. So that would be very detrimental to their race, and they would have to do a ton of overtaking on all those hard runners in the midfield.
Which is easier said than done at this course.
Yeah, this track is the hardest one of the hardest to overtake on. The only one that's hitting harder to overtake on would be Monaco. So this is definitely going to be tough for these two drivers to be able to claw their way back through the field. As Glenn, Coco, and Stig are side by side going to the first corner. It looks like Glenn will make this move stick as he locks up going into turn 1 and goes wide. So it looks like Stig might get the jump on him, but Glenn has that DRS still. He's defending his inside line here, and he will hold on to it unless Stig can pull the cutback move here. It doesn't look like he will, and Glenn holds on to that P5. It'll be interesting to watch Breezy claw his way back through the field here on these fresh mediums, though, that's for sure. Sinister starting to eat into that gap from Pecan. He's only a second behind and closing fast. He's only 8/10 behind now. He pulled 2/10 in one corner.
Sniper Pig really is got to be happy that he's starting to catch, because that'll mean that if they start battling, it's going to give Sniper Pig the advantage he needs to start gaining.
As Sinister Owl is now in the DRS zone of Pecan, so Sinister has a lot more pace than Pecan here at the end of their medium tire stint. Or heading towards their medium tire stint. It might be the middle of their medium tire stint, I'm not exactly sure. But these two drivers might be battling for the lead, or they might be battling for P7. We don't know. This is a huge battle here between these two front runners, because the more they battle, the more it's going to hurt them, as Breezy sets the fastest lap of the race with a 119.4 after pitting in for fresh medium compound tires. And that's going to send alarm bells throughout the rest of the field. And Breezy is flying. And Breezy is right on the back of Miami here. Let's see if he can make a move. Breezy looks to the outside around turn 3. This is a hard overtake to make. He stays there. He'll have the inside for this next sweeping right-hander, but he backs out of it. Very wise decision there from Breezy not to go through that corner side by side.
He's going to go for the pass here.
Wow, he's going to go up the inside going into the chicane. Such a tough place to make an overtake work, but Breezy does it. Beautiful overtaking there from Breezy. This is going to be an awesome race to watch from Breezy's perspective for the rest of this GP. Jumping back up to the front, Sinister Owl pulls to the outside, looking to turn 1. And Pecan overdrives the corner just a little bit, pulls a Verstappen-esque move, and runs Sinister right out of space. So Sinister's going to have to wait another lap to get this move done unless he does something similar to Breezy. And as these two drivers battle, Sniper Pig is just pulling closer and closer. The gap is now 5.8 seconds. It was 6.4 at the start of lap 23.
Sniper Pig's... I can already tell what Sniper Pig's saying in his head. Just keep battling, give me that chance to catch up.
And we all know, I don't know that these medium tires are going to last. These guys are pushing way too hard to make these tires last the rest of this race. They might end up having to do an emergency two-stop here, or they might be pushing really hard to be able to do the two-stop. I'm not quite sure which one they're going with. They are getting close to that window for the soft compound tires. So here in around 2 to 3 laps time, they could pit for those softs and make it to the end of the GP.
Question is, if they do pit, how much do they trust themselves to get by the rest of the field to get back to the podium positions?
Looks like Pecan makes yet another mistake, and turn 1 goes a little bit wide. Sinister pulls to the outside of Pecan here through turn 3, and he is trying to hold on to it, but just can't quite make it stick around the outside.
And for just a reminder, Sinister's driving injured today, still pushing this hard.
We know that Sinister's foot is screaming in pain, but he does not care. He is driving this race car today. It's an amazing show here at the front that Pecan and Sinister are putting on for the rest of us here watching. All of us mere mortals. Pecan seems to pull a little bit of a gap there in the middle sector. Sinister made a little bit of a mistake. Pecan might have a little bit of a buffer here, but as I say that, Sinister pulls another 10th out of him. So Pecan's really struggling on these old medium compound tires.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them pit in the next couple laps. There's no way they're going to last another 10.
if you look at it, Sniper Pig's already 4 seconds behind, so he's pulled 2 seconds on these drivers in the last few laps. And these drivers are losing a lot of time. They're going to go down to P9 and P8 and P9 after they pit. So these drivers are losing a ton of time here battling each other. Sinister goes severely wide there. So we have a nice little game of chess between these two drivers.
Great shot there from the helicopter cam.
Yeah, this is some wonderful camera work here from the man in the helicopter. I don't know who he is and I don't know what he does for a living, but this is what he needs to do for a living. Wonderful job with the camera work here going into the third sector. Sadly, the camera cuts out.
I could have watched that for the rest of the race.
Here we go. Here's another good camera angle. It's one of the best camera angles on this track. They're at wide corner, that wide lens view. The Sinister is only 5/10 behind Pecan. He might be close enough to make another attempt here going into turn 1. He has his DRS open. Doesn't look like he's gaining quite fast enough. Change that. He is coming, but not quite close enough. That would have been a David Croft move if I'd ever seen one. The Sinister will be on the back of Pecan here. And it looks like they ghosted through each other there. So, pretty lucky escape there from both of these drivers. A little bit of lag in this lobby is helping them a lot as Sinister is right on the back of Pecan. He looks like he was going to pull to the inside, but thought better of it.
That would have been a very risky move.
We've seen a lot of risky moves already, so why not add another one to the plate?
Honestly, I'm glad Sinister pulled out of that. I don't see that ending anyway but the two of them crashing.
But, as Ayrton Senna said, if there is a gap and you don't go for it, you are no longer a racing driver. So,
I'm not sure there was a gap there.
There was a little bit of a gap. Not much, but there was a little.
It was there and closing rapidly.
Breezy is catching up to his next prey here, Space Hero. They're going to be fighting it out for P7. Breezy will most likely take this position going into turn 1 with the help of DRS. It's insane how much faster he is, and he drives it a little deep and makes contact with Space there. Space might be a little bit frustrated, but that one, and Breezy just did not expect how slow Space was going to be there. As we start lap 28 there, it looks like Breezy will be looking to the inside. Yes, he will, and he will be taking that position away from the Red Bull. He goes a little bit wide. Let's see if Space has anything for him. Doesn't look like he quite has the grip on corner exit, so Breezy moves himself up into P7. Next target, though, is 6.5 seconds ahead. And Glen Coco in the Haas.
Just a little recap. While all of this has been happening, Sniper Pig is down to 3.2 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, those medium tires are really starting to fall off here, especially as these two drivers battle. And Sinister's tires are a lap older than Pecan's, and he's been in the dirty air this entire stint. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't pit soon, because I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on to it if they do stay out. But as I say that, there's an 11.5 second gap between Sniper Pig and Lucas, so they might be looking at that thinking that they might be able to just slot in there and stay in the podium position. Since there's a little bit of contact there between Sinister and Pecan. Sinister tried to get a cutback move, but Pecan just blocked it off completely. Just sat in the middle of the racing line.
It's really looking like Sniper Pig made the perfect decision getting on those hard tires.
Sniper Pig is really reeling in these drivers. He's only 2.5 seconds behind now. And Stig is right on the back of Lucas as well, so that might be a battle to watch out for. As Stig pulls to the outside, and he gets the move to stick with the help of a little bit of ERS. So he moves himself up into P4 and might have a chance at a podium depending on how much these drivers on the mediums fall off here at the end of this race. And there is Sniper Pig right behind these drivers. Only 2 seconds the gap between Sniper Pig and Sinister Owl, and 3 seconds to Pecan. And Sinister is really falling off. His tires seem to be really giving out on him. He's lost quite a bit of time to Pecan that lap, and as well as to Sniper Pig. It looks like, yes, he lost the DRS that lap.
Sniper Pig.
Huge.
After the disappointment on the restart from that in that safety car, he has been driving so incredibly well to catch up to these guys. He's closed a 7+ second gap at one point.
Yeah, he is really reeling in these drivers out front. So now it's only 2 seconds, and Sniper Pig just be biding his time, waiting for these medium tires to fall off, as Sinister has a huge oversteer moment there at the exit of the long right-hander. You can tell these drivers are really struggling on their tires, and Sniper Pig's only 1.5 seconds behind Sinister now.
The question starts to come up of how worn are these mediums at this point, and if they're at that 70 to 80% mark, there's a possibility they could start to blow, and the last thing these two want is that.
I 100% agree. I'm checking to see if Pecan is live streaming this race, and he's not, sadly. It'd be wonderful to be able to look and see what his tire wear is looking like here. So we don't have to have those botchy graphics like the F1 has, and have a true feel for how much tire wear we have here in this race. Is Sinister is right on the diffuser. Pecan, once again, he seemed to reel him in quite a bit that lap. He put in a really good lap last time compared to Pecan. Sniper Pig still around that 2 second range. So as he's closed in, the dirty air started to affect him more and more, and he's kind of hit that wall of air. As these two leading drivers are really duking it out here, this P1. This race for the podium is going to be excellent.
Yes, yes it will.
Lucas is still right on the back of Stig for P4, so this is going to be a great battle for the end of the race as well, as Lucas looks to the inside of Stig.
Oh, and Sinister spins it! And he puts it in the wall!
And he hits the wall! Sinister was driving so well. He's going to want to get going as quick as possible. There's a huge gap between himself and Stig, so if he can get going before Stig gets there, it looks like Stig is coming up now.
Sinister have front wing damage, though.
Sinister's going to want to limp it home and not pit, 'cause if he pits, he's going to lose tons of time here. Let's see if he pits. He has a ton of wing damage, so yes, he will be.
Going to make a move on Glen Coco.
Looks like Breezy will be looking to the outside, not quite. He's going to cut back and use the DRS for this overtake to happen. Breezy might have a chance at a podium position here, as Stig and Lucas are now battling for a podium position. These battles right here in the midfield have turned into podium battles. As Breezy looks around the outside of Glen Coco, and Lucas takes a position away from Stig. So Lucas has promoted himself up into P3 for what would be, I believe, his first podium in F1.
I believe so.
And Breezy is right behind Glen Coco here. He's only a 10.5 back. He might be looking to make a move here in this middle sector. He's right on his diffuser as they go through the fast left-hander. Breezy has a little bit of an oversteer moment on the curbing. Loses just a little bit of time.
Stig spins it.
Stig spins it. Stig puts it in the wall. Stig, in that long right-hander, does the exact same thing that Sinister did in the second sector, and he is retired from the race. So Stig, his hopes for a podium position just like that have vanished.
Breezy right on Glen Coco's diffuser.
And Breezy goes for the move. Breezy goes for it. They make contact, and Breezy makes a little bit of contact with Glen Coco's side pod as Glen locks up in the following corner, and they're still side by side going into the final corner. Breezy's going to be looking to make the cut back here. He's going to be using that fresh rubber to get by him.
And he's got the DRS.
And he has the DRS as well. So a great overtaking maneuver there from Breezy, but wow, he's not even pulling anything on him. And Glen Coco's still on his outside there, but Breezy makes it stick, runs Glen out of room. So Breezy's now up into P4.
He's going to be on a warpath to get to Lucas. But that being said, Sniper Pig now down into the second range on Pecan in these closing 2 laps.
2 laps remain in this Hungarian GP, and it is nowhere close to finished. I have no clue how this top 5 is going to finish.
No clue.
If they finish. As Breezy is right on the back of Lucas, those tires are really paying dividends for him to get back onto the podium.
Sniper Pig down to 0.2 of a second behind Pecan.
Sniper Pig's going to be looking to make this overtake here on this DRS straight. Going to turn 1, he pulls over into the slipstream of Pecan. Going down to pit straight, he pulls back to the outside for turn 1. He pulls around, but he's not quite there. He's going to try to make the cutback, and it looks like it's going to work. Pecan goes a little bit wide there, and they're side by side, tire to tire, going into turn 2. And Pecan has lost P1 to and they make contact. Pecan spins him. Sniper Pig and Pecan, a huge collision there. And Pecan will hold on to P1 because of it. Sniper Pig has fallen back really far there as Breezy makes a move around the outside of Lucas for P3. So Breezy is now on the podium.
Oh my god. Sniper Pig has to be so devastated after that.
And Glenn Coco and Lucas spins it. Lucas spins it in turn 4. So Lucas is now out of that podium chance, and it's all up to Glenn out of that battle on those hard compound tires to be able to catch back up to Breezy and get back on the podium.
Sniper Pig has front wing damage as well.
Sniper Pig's going to just limp it home at this point. Huge disappointment for Sniper Pig, and he's definitely going to be calling to the storage after this one. Pecan might get a very severe penalty for that one.
It didn't kill or wreck somebody out of the race, but it was definitely... That was a massive move for the standings.
Absolutely, as Space gets by Lucas there to take P5, and Sinister is flying on those soft compound tires. He's going to be catching up to Lucas in Space here soon. So he might still have a P5 in the books if he really pushes here on this final lap of this Grand Prix. Wow. I did not expect this race to end like it has.
Yeah, that was... wow. When Sniper Pig got the pass made, I thought it was all over. He had the pace the entire time, and then just the slightest contact.
The Sinister makes the move stick on Lucas here on this final lap of this GP. Lucas's tires really seem to be falling off. Plus, he has a little bit of wing damage from his spin.
Wins the Hungarian GP, followed by Sniper Pig.
Without a little bit of controversy. So Pecan takes the win. Sniper Pig in P2. Breezy comes across the line in P3 and does a little bit of celebratory drifting. Glenn Coco comes across the line at P4 for what I believe is his best career finish. Space Hero comes across the line in P5. Sinister in a disappointing P6 after his late race spin from that lead battle. And if you think about it, Sinister could have won this race because Sniper Pig got spun. Pecan is bound to get a penalty, so Sinister would be right there to win the race.
I completely agree. Honestly, I don't know how big of a penalty Pecan's going to get, but that's possibly... It possibly could be Sniper Pig's race if the penalty is big enough.
Sniper Pig will definitely be yelling to the stewards to have that looked over here after this Hungarian GP. But what an exciting race we've had here for the UDL F1 League. Round 12 of the first season of this league championship. Pecan was your winner, followed by Sniper Pig and Breezy. Nice to have 3 different teams on the podium.
Yep. And next week will be a contender for Race of the Year with Spa.
Good old Spa-Francorchamps. What many people say is the best track on the calendar, including myself. And if you don't say that, I'm not friends with you. So Pecan wins here at the Hungarian GP with Sniper Pig in P2 for Red Bull, Breezy in P3 for Williams, rounding out those podium positions. Glen Coco comes home in P4, Space in P5, Sinister in P6, Lucas P7, Miami in P8, Drew U P9, and Kill the Birdman gets that final points paying position in P10. Man, the last of the finishers in P11 in that Ferrari.
I do have to say, no matter what, you know, however a race goes in this league, it is never boring. It never ceases to amaze me how many people, or how much drama goes on, especially in the closing laps of these races.
I 100% agree. So, alright everybody, thank you for tuning in for this Hungarian GP in the UDL F1 League. My name has been Mr. Damage, joined by Jonathan, and we will see you all next week for the UDL F1 League race at Spa-Francorchamps.
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye!
Peace.